Okay, it's Easter. It's Sunday morning. It's our final part of our story. I'm smiling because I really know what's going to happen. And I really want you to be as excited as I am. Okay? Now, not just because of the eggs, as important as they are. But if you remember, we left our story on Good Friday. And here we are, Sunday morning, wondering what happens next. And let me tell you, it's amazing. So, we're not going to do it. You know who you are, all the people who are watching. Thanks for watching. We're going to get straight back there. Okay? We're already in modern Jerusalem. I need you to send me back to ancient Jerusalem again one last time for this weekend. Okay? So, grab an egg if you can. I'll give you 2 seconds. Go and get one. 1, 2. Right, back. Grab an egg. And I want you to wave the egg as hard as you can without making a mess on the floor. Otherwise, you'll have to hoover it. Okay? Wave the egg. Wave the egg. And we're going to go back to Jerusalem. You notice I haven't got any eggs because no one bought me any. Just kidding. Okay, I've eaten them. Let's wave the eggs, wave the eggs, wave the eggs, wave the eggs. Okay, we're back in ancient Jerusalem. Got my old clothes on again. Okay, in fact, quite fashionable these days, so I'm thinking of getting myself one of these to wear back in the modern world. Okay, be brilliant. So here we are, and we're back where we left on Good Friday. We're back with the 3 crosses. Okay, and as we know, we ended on Good Friday with Jesus uttering those words, "It is finished." And then he gave up his life for us, for you and for me. Okay, now the disciples needed to bury Jesus. Jesus didn't have like a family tomb. He didn't have a tomb of his own. So a rich Jewish ruler called Joseph of Arimathea offered his tomb for the disciples to bury Jesus' body in. And that's what they did. They took Jesus down and they took his body and they placed it in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. Now the Pharisees were really worried. You see, they'd heard all sorts of rumours that Jesus had predicted that in 3 days he was going to come back to life. Now they didn't believe he would do this. They didn't believe he was the Son of God. But they were worried. What if everything he said was true? Or what if someone stole the body to pretend that it was true? They couldn't take any chances. So they came up with a plan. And this is what they did. Can you see what they did? Look at these guys. Roman guards outside of Jesus' tomb. And not only did they put some Roman guards there, they actually put a big seal on it as well to make sure no one could break in. They were really worried. And yet they didn't quite believe it. Interesting. Well, this all happened on Friday. Saturday happened nothing. The guards probably got a little bit bored of being there for a while. And then early Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, things started to happen. The ground starts to shake. The guards start looking at each other. They're a bit worried. What's going on? They can hear something. Can you hear it? In the sky above them. The ground shakes more. Okay, can you pretend to be in a bit of an earthquake? It's going back. Oh, look, we're tipping everywhere. The Roman guards are really standing their ground. Did you notice? They're excellent actors. Okay, the ground is moving, and suddenly there was an enormous crash, and they turned around and they saw the stone had rolled away. They were so afraid they actually ran for their life, ran away in the middle of the night, not wondering what to do. So it's really interesting that actually, when they went to talk to the chief priests and the Pharisees about what had happened that night, they actually got paid off. They were told to pretend the disciples had come, broken into the tomb, stolen the body and hidden it, because they didn't want people believing that Jesus had come back to life. They wanted the soldiers to lie rather to say what had actually happened, that God had done a miracle and brought his son back to life. And here it is, the empty tomb. You can see the stone rolled away and the doorway open. That morning, Mary Magdalene and a lot of the ladies who followed Jesus decided they would go up and they would visit the grave. They would visit the tomb, pay their respects to their friend who had gone. On the way there, they talked about the stone and how it would be impossible to roll it out of the way. Can you imagine how surprised they were when they got there and found out that it had already happened? They walked up the tomb and saw the stone had gone. Now, we don't know if the tomb actually looked like this, but it does say in the Bible that the stone was huge, and yet someone had moved it. They quickly ran back to the disciples as fast as their feet could carry them. Tell them the news. Something's happened. Something's happened at Jesus' grave. Something's happened. The stone has gone. It's been rolled away. Our friend Peter, we've met him a few times now. We know how impetuous he is. He flew out of the room, quickly followed by John, and they raced to see what was going on. And here they are. This is a drawing someone's done, a painting of Peter and John racing towards the tomb, racing as fast as they could. It says John actually got there first, but Peter burst in, and they couldn't believe their eyes. There in front of them was this scene. And this is what they saw when they went in. All that was left was the cloths that they had wrapped around Jesus, just there where they had left him. There was nothing else in the tomb. It was completely empty. They looked at each other in amazement. Could it be true? Could it be what Jesus had predicted and promised was going to happen? Had it really happened? Had he really come back to life? They talked about it all the way back to their home, leaving Mary behind, walking in her tears, in her sadness, in the garden. If you go to Jerusalem even today, this is the sight you may see. This is where people think Jesus was actually buried. Now, again, we're not sure if this is true, but this is a sort of area that Mary Magdalene would have been walking in, crying. She was wondering what had gone on. She was wondering where Jesus was. And she was approached by a man. She first thought he was the gardener, and through her tears, he walked across. And he asked her why she was crying. She said, "Please, sir, they've taken away my Lord. They've taken him away. Can you tell me where they've put his body so that I may go and see him?" She hadn't realized that the person standing next to her was Jesus. It was only when he said her name, he reached down and said, "Mary," that she recognized it was him. She looked up, looked into his eyes and realized that it was Jesus. He had come back. The story did have this amazing ending that he had predicted. That yes, he had died on Good Friday, but now he was back with them. And you know, out of all the bit of the Easter story, and I always say that this bit is my favourite and this bit is my favourite, but I love this point. Because this point says so much to me about who Jesus is and what he thinks of us. Because he had just come back to life from the dead, and yet he stopped in a garden to talk to his friend, and not just talk to his friend, but actually call her by her name, Mary. And you know, as we think on this Easter Sunday about Jesus, and as we think about Good Friday, and as we get all involved with the eggs and all the chocolate, if we can remember just one thing, and that's not too bad because on Good Friday I asked you to remember 3 things. Today I just want you to remember one thing. I want you to remember that Jesus knows your name. Now, it's really interesting. As a teacher in school, obviously I am Mr. Reese. And it's always really, really funny when the children find out in my class, and any of you watching, well done my class for watching, excellent. It's always funny when they find out what your real name is. And the first time, you all know it now because my channel's called Craig Reese. But the first time they, "Oh, sir, Mr. Reese, I know your real name." Well, I want to say to you this Easter Sunday morning that Jesus knows your name. As you're sitting there, driving your parents mad because you've been whacked out of your head with so much sugar and chocolate, Jesus knows your name. Just as he knows my name is Craig, he knows your name as well. And he stops sometimes and comes and talks to us because he loves us and he knows our name. So I want you to think about that this Easter Sunday, okay? Now, normally at this point, I ask you to send me back. But to be honest, I'm having so much fun here that what I'd like to do, I'd like to stay here for the week. I'm going to find out what happens next. And next Sunday, I'm going to tell you a few more stories. Because Jesus didn't just appear to Mary. There was a lot more people Jesus spoke to. And then a lot more people that they spoke to after. So over the next coming weeks, we're going to talk about those sort of people that Jesus spoke to, and then what they did to carry on this message that Jesus loves us and Jesus knows who we are. Okay? Well, it's been brilliant talking to you this Easter Sunday. Have a great day. Stay safe. See you soon. Bye, guys.